So the Northwest Parks and Tourism Board has confirmed the death of a tourist at the Pilanesberg National Park. The Spanish national was killed on Sunday after an elephant attacked him. The man, who was traveling with three other people, allegedly stepped out of the car to take pictures of a herd of breeding elephants that he encountered while on a game drive. An adult elephant reportedly separated from the group and charged at him. The man was rushed to hospital but later succumbed to his injuries. The case has since been handed over to police for further investigations. Let's get more details on this. We are joined by Acting Chief Conservation Officer at the Northwest Parks and Tourism Board, Piet, and Chief Marketing Officer of the Northwest Parks, Deborah Mooketsi. Deborah, I think we'll start with you. Just give us the details of what we understood actually took place here. We know that the man, the Spanish tourist, stepped out of the vehicle. Was he with a ranger? Were there other people that were there? Was there a warning for him not to approach the animals? Okay, Deborah, are you there? All right, let's try Piet now. Piet,
I'm here. Good morning to you.
Okay, there you are. Now we can hear you. Okay, go ahead and tell us exactly what happened. This Spanish tourist, was there some sort of warning beforehand to alert him not to approach the animals?
Absolutely. Good morning. The lady in the Newzroom Afrika viewers, the protocols as well as warning regulations upon entering the park, but also as you receive your pamphlets at the park, you do receive the safety protocols to say this is what you are supposed to do and these are the procedures and protocols that you're supposed to exercise. So there's definitely all of our tourists coming in either for a self-drive that are making use of our concessionaires within the parks. So there was definitely ample voice.
Okay, your line is giving us some trouble, Deborah. I'm going to hand over to Piet now. Piet, just talk to us a little bit about, whether or not this information is readily available. In an instance like this, where a man has been killed as a result of having approached a herd of breeding elephants, who then takes the accountability, Piet?
Good morning, and good morning to all your listeners. Yes, in fact, upon entry into the reserve, the guest needs to actually sign that they take notice of the rules and regulations. And I think the first rule on that list is for people not to embark from their vehicle. So I think in some cases people are oblivious to the dangers in the parks. We must remember that you are entering a wild area. It's a nature reserve in all its context. And the animals are in there, are living in a natural habitat. They've still got their natural behavior, etc. So we are entering their domain, and we basically need to do what they require from us. So I think, in terms of accountability, as I said, the guests, when they enter the park and so on, actually need to sign for the permit that they receive and that they have acknowledged the rules. So I would say that that accountability then lies squarely on the back of the guest as they enter. But obviously, from our side, we also need to manage the situation, and we will obviously also not like to endanger guests, for no reason. So those things are being managed, but we are not. We are not around all the time. We do have park officials. We've got honorary rangers that's doing patrols, and that is also doing guest management or visitor management to a large extent, looking out specifically for these kind of things.
Is there, obviously, and I can imagine that they'd be concerned that because there has been an attack and even a death, and Deborah, perhaps this is for you, has there been discussion around whether or not this elephant will be put down?
Yes, I must say,
I'll let Deborah take this one, Piet. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, okay.
Good morning, Naledi. No, absolutely. This was an isolated incident, we must also say to you. And obviously, as Piet alluded a little bit earlier, it's very difficult for us to predict how they will react, because they are living in their natural habitat. There are no talks to be incident because, as Piet said, without tourists coming into the parks, we know that the safety protocols are printed on the permit received. And I think it's very important for us, as well as the entity existing under the ambit of the Northwest Provincial Government, just to extend our heartfelt condolences to the family and the friends of the deceased gentleman.
Okay, Piet, what happens now with the elephant?
No, we're not going to act against the elephants or the little group. It was a breeding group. They act in defense of their family. The female who led the attack was obviously the matriarch. And after the attack, they simply just turned around and they disappeared into the wild. So there is no action planned against that. I think it was a pure natural instinct or so for them to respond. And so we don't plan anything further.
Okay. Well, we're going to leave it there. And I think it's absolutely an unfortunate and heartbreaking situation for the family of the individual who has lost his life after being trampled by an elephant at the Pilanesberg, in Pilanesberg in the northwest there. The Spanish tourist allegedly having gotten out of the car to take pictures of a herd of elephants, one turning on him and then trampling him. Sadly, he succumbed to his injuries later on. But thanks to our guest, Piet, Acting Chief Conservation Officer for the Northwest Parks and Tourism Board, and Deborah Mooketsi, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Northwest Parks and Tourism Board as well.